When my mom drinks, I have to keep it a secret. I don't want them to see her drunk, out of her mind.
When my dad was drinking, he couldn't really love.
She chose the alcohol over me.
I can't make him stop.
Like, I'll give up my life. For my mom to stop drinking, I would have gave up my life.
This is Nick News with Linda Ellerbee. Under the Influence, Kids of Alcoholics. Now from New York, here is Linda Ellerbee.
Today, about 11 million kids under the age of 18 are growing up in the U.S. with one or more parent who's an alcoholic. If you are one of these kids, you already know it changes just about everything in your life. But there are 3 more things you need to know. 1, it's not your fault. 2, you can't fix it. 3, you need to know and to remember at all times that you are not alone.
When my mom was drunk, she couldn't be a mom. I would have to cook dinner for me, her, sometimes clean the kitchen. It was like I was the mother. My name is Kate. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and my mom's an alcoholic.
When my dad is drinking, he would just get angry for nothing. And he scares me. My mom won't let him live with us because he'll just drink and drink and drink. I am Matthew. I live in Denver, Colorado, and my dad is an alcoholic.
When my dad was drinking, I didn't have a father. I had someone extra in my house. I had someone that I didn't know, but I knew his face. My name's Sam. I live in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, and my dad's an alcoholic.
When my mom was drinking, it felt like we was in a dark part of the world. And when I asked her to stop, she would say, "I'll stop drinking, I promise, I promise." And then all of a sudden I see her with a beer in her hand. She was addicted to it. My name is Ryan. I live in West Wego, Louisiana, and my mom's alcoholic.
One night, my mom was drinking, and I knew something bad was gonna happen. So I knew I had to get out of the house. And when I tried to, that's when she came to me and she slammed the door actually, and my arm went with it, and that's when my wrist hit the doorknob and it fractured. My name is Brittany and I'm from Mattituck, New York, and my mom is an alcoholic. Since I was little, I remember my mom always going out and drinking. I would come home after school, like getting off the bus, and if I saw her car in the driveway, I would be like, "Oh great, my mom's there," but then I was kind of scared because if she was drinking, she would pick fights with me and she made no sense at all.
When my dad was drunk, he was always very gentle with me, but I couldn't tell a thing he was saying. He couldn't pronounce words right. And sometimes when I would go to school, I would say it, and then my teachers would try to correct me, and I'm all like, "What?" But that's what my dad says. And it really confused me that way.
She'll have beer cans on the table, on the floor, in the refrigerator, outside. She'll start drinking close to 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then she'll just drink all day.
When my mom drinks, I have to keep it a secret from people who come over. I have to say hi, and say that my mom's taking a shower, and because I don't want them to see her just drunk, out of her mind. And the doors were always shut, the blinds always closed, shut, locked. And she would try to look sober just to get that feel that, oh, she's sober. Okay, I don't have to worry about anything. But I would always worry.
Sometimes On the news, I'll see people like drinking and driving. They get in a car wreck and die sometimes. So like in school, I would worry a lot about my dad, and my grades were suffering because I couldn't like focus.
I don't know. I just thought it was my fault that she was drinking and that I didn't help her stop. I tried to help my mom not to drink. I yelled and cried and begged her to stop. I have one tip. If you want the alcoholic not to drink, don't drop the alcohol down the drain. That's just going to make them more angry.
When I turned 8, I started feeling kind of sad and pity and like, what's going on? Because I saw other parents and they were dads, and they were acting fine. And I wondered, what's wrong with my dad? Is he sick?
One day, she wouldn't wake up, and I started crying because I thought she was dead. Alcohol's not good for your body, and I get scared because she might die, and then I just gotta stay here like by myself. Like, I'll give up my life for my mom to stop drinking. I would have gave up my life.
Alcoholism is a disease. It's a tricky and sneaky disease because it convinces you that you don't have it. I'm Jerry Moe, National Director of Children's Programs at Betty Ford. In the United States, about 1 out of every 4 boys and girls lives in a family and loves someone who has the disease of alcoholism. One of the things we do in the children's program is have them draw pictures about how alcoholism has hurt their families. Alcoholism is characterized by loss of control, that once a person starts drinking alcohol, they can't stop. But they not only lose control over how much they have to drink, they also lose control over behavior. But I think what's often most difficult for boys and girls growing up in homes where there's alcoholism, you never know what's going to happen next. And there was one girl, 13 years old, who maybe said it best of all. She said, alcoholism turns the people you love into strangers. Because when my dad's drinking, that's not my dad. It's not the dad who loves me.
A lot of times I'll play football games and then I'll ask my dad to come, and he'll always promise, and he would never show up. Every time I look around to see my dad, I see all the other kids' dads just sitting and watching the game. It makes me feel like just like really sad and angry sometimes.
When I got into junior high, I couldn't really do sports, and I couldn't really hang out with friends a lot because I had to stay home and take care of my mom, or I had to do stuff around the house just to help out because she wouldn't.
I have lost some of my childhood. I grew up more. I know things that some kids my age don't even know. Like maybe should not know yet. I didn't play with like toys. I didn't do any of that, so we got rid of all my toys because I wouldn't play with them anymore.
I'm very angry at alcohol. On advertisements, they portray it as this godly beverage that's gonna make you cool at parties. And I think that's nonsense.
They say it's supposed to make you happy. I don't see it. I don't see how it's supposed to make you happy, because maybe she was happy in her mind, but she wasn't happy outside. She looked horrible, like a mess.
I noticed his alcoholism was getting worse. He couldn't really love, like he was basically numb. He was like a dead fish. And that's when I really started to dislike my dad. And I started to get scared of him. What if he snapped at me? My mom moved us away from my dad in New York down to Florida. And I felt horrible. Like, why do I have to move away from my friends, some of my family, and my dad? And my mom just said it was for the best.
I love my mom, but she loves drinking more than me. I don't want the problems anymore. I just want my mom to be a mom and to be here for me.
Even if you can't fix a parent or parents' alcoholism, and you can't, any more than you could fix a disease like cancer if that was what they had, there are things you can do to help you cope with the situation, to take care of yourself, to protect yourself, physically and emotionally.
One of the things that helped me a lot was my friend Desiree. She was always there for me. I don't think that adults really realize what the kids go through with alcoholism and their parents and the fighting. When my mom was here or we'd be in fights, I would talk to Desiree about it, and she would always say it's gonna get better. And she'll give me great advice to help me.
One of the things I would do to be safe when my mom was drinking, I would go next door to my grandmother's. She was like a second mother to me. She would do anything for me. She'll cook when I need food. When I need clothes, she'll already have them washed. Sometimes my grandmother would do my hair. Mostly feed me though, because little girl has to eat.
One of the things that really helped me was my church youth group. I am able to tell them what's going on, and they won't tease me, make fun of me.
So on our first relapse,
We talk and we play and we laugh, and then we pray.
as we forgive those who trespass.
God has helped me with so much. I pray every night now, and I just talk to Him.
I'm in a support group for kids with parents who have an alcohol problem. It's taught me just to let all my feelings out, that it's like not my fault, that my dad's drinking, it's his.
In our children's program, what's most important is helping them separate the person they love from the disease that consumes them. Kids can not only survive, but thrive growing up in a family that's been hurt by alcoholism. How? Learning about what you can control and what you can't. And boys and girls cannot control their parents drinking and can't control whether or not they stop or get help or not get help. By having safe people that you can talk to about what's going on at home. By learning problem-solving skills, ways to stay safe. And by having a positive outlook on life. The good news is that alcoholics can and do get better. We see people recover from this awful disease on a daily basis. And the hope for children is that even if a parent doesn't get better, children can go on and have wonderful, awesome, productive lives.
No one can stop another person from drinking, but there is a process called intervention. This is when several friends and family members and a professional in addiction treatment confront the alcoholic. Each person explains how the drunk's behavior has affected them personally. The goal is to persuade the alcoholic to seek help. Here's the story of an intervention.
When my mom said intervention, I didn't really understand it, except I got the point that we're gonna make my dad better. And that made me one of the happiest kids on earth.
On December 5th of 2005, I was woken up Sunday morning about 4 o'clock and told to come downstairs. I walked into the day room. Sam was sitting on a couch, sitting very stiff, and he wouldn't look at me. And I was told by the interventionist that this is what's going on. Ron, we're here to try to help you. Your family's extremely concerned about you, and particularly your drinking.
This is the letter I read to my dad when the intervention was going on. Dear Dad, you've torn every single bit of me. You use me like a stupid toy, but now you have a broken toy.
You have used me like a stupid toy. But now you have a broken toy. One day I saw a veteran begging for money. When I saw him, I pictured you like that. I'm sorry, it's still very emotional for me to read this now.
I don't care if I never see you again, or if you jump off a building when you drink. If you do this one more time, you'll lose your whole family, and no one will care. I still love you, but don't do this again, please. Love, Sam, your son.
The intervention didn't exactly go as you would see on TV. Generally, the way they portray it is a family member reading a letter to an alcoholic, and within 2 minutes, a lot of tears and surrender. In my case, I got angry.
He was just trying to get people out of his house and shouting and all.
When Sam started to get a sense of that this isn't going to work, he just went wild, and he went into his room. He destroyed his room, trashed it, and was screaming. He came into the other room where I was with the family, and he had a picture of us, and he cut it in my face.
I just realized I don't have a dad. Why should I have pictures?
That's what broke me. At that time, I could feel something. I could feel, the hurt that he was going through. And that's when I threw my hands up and surrendered. I said, that's enough, I'll go, I'll do whatever you want. And that's when it turned for me. It was just a small crack, but that's when it turned for me. And that was the beginning of the beginning for me.
My dad went into rehab, and I saw this place almost surreal-like. It was a place that would take in broken people and basically taught them skills so they wouldn't drink anymore and would stay sober. Not all the time it would work, but it worked for my dad, and that's all that matters to me.
My son saved my life.
And I believe that. I like to believe that I saved my dad's life.
My mom went to rehab for 60 days and she's no longer drinking. She has been a recovering alcoholic for 1 year. It's awesome. It's like a reborn mom.
My mom went to rehab. I think it was like for 30 days, and she didn't drink when she got back, but I guess like after a few weeks, that's when she started drinking again. If she wanted to take care of me, she would stop drinking, but apparently she chose the alcohol over me and her family, so.
My dad, he stopped for about like a month, and during that month, he would always come to my football games. And me and him would play catch and ride our bikes. Then he just went back on drinking. I've given up. I'm not gonna ask him to stop anymore because all he cares about is his alcohol, and I can't make him stop.
My mom's been clean for 2.5 years, and I think it's awesome. We wake up early. She takes me to school. Anything that I need, she'll give for me. She has a job. She's clean, like clean.
My dad's been sober for 5 years. My relationship with him is the best it can be. And It's basically a new chapter with me and my family. You're never cured. But I think he understands if he drinks ever again, he's gonna lose me and my mother and his family. And I think he's not willing to risk that.
Have you ever heard of the Serenity Prayer? Alcoholics and other addicts in recovery say it regularly, and so do those who love them, like their kids. In fact, the words in this particular prayer have been meaningful to people in many different situations. Even those who don't believe in a God will often say the Serenity Prayer, which goes like this: Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. True, they're only words, and words can't make your parent or parents sober, and maybe these words sound dorky to you. But maybe they can also help you accept what's been lost and find the strength inside yourself to go on in a different way. I'm Linda Ellerbee. Goodbye for Nick News.